Alright, so today I'm back with another Blue Lock leak video, and today we will go over the leaks for Chapter 281. Sorry that this video is a bit late, but I wasn't home yesterday and therefore I couldn't work on it. But here it is. Hopefully, you aren't too mad about it. Anyway, the leaks for this chapter were pretty spicy, as we got to see Ego having a full lecture about geniuses and prodigies, and why not being a genius isn't the end of the world. We also got to see something super interesting starting to happen between Kaiser and Isagi, which I don't want to say too much, but it could potentially lead to a team-up, which was insane. But I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment as well as join the Discord server down in the comments. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, so to start off chapter 281, we get to see some weird looking creatures before Ego starts talking about birth. Anyway, he says that life is born by receiving a copy of the gene from both father and mother in principle. However, rarely a child with characteristics that are not found in those parents is born due to a copy error. For example, they might be very small, very tall, very fast, or very sensitive. In most cases, because they are different from others, they are ostracized or lose out in competition and fail to leave behind their genes. By chance, they may be suited to a favorable environment. Those genes increase in number through natural selection, and the characteristics that were once sudden mutations eventually become the standard for that species. This cycle of genes repeats, and eventually, a creature that is completely different from the original species is born. He ends off by saying that this is evolution, and I don't know about you, but that was a lot to take in, as bro talked for about 3 chapters. Anyway, after that, Henri, who's by his side, is amazed by all of this, and says that she had no idea. After that, she says that it's basically the same as when Pichu becomes Pikachu, right? However, Ego doesn't really see the similarities, as he just tells her that adults who don't study will be eliminated. Henri says that she will take care of it, and I'm not really sure what she will take care of, but anyway, after that, she asks Ego what evolution has to do with soccer. Ego explains that it's his own personal theory about talent, but he thinks that all evolution in human society is essentially the same. Humans who are born with special characteristics that are different from others may not be understood and may find it difficult to live. But that may be the evolutionary gene of humanity. Humans can throw the expressions of their body and mind, which are born from those pointed and concave parts, into the world. And among them, there are those who create innovative expressions that fit the times and the environment and change the world's standards. And Ego himself calls those people who possess such a species geniuses. If you thought that Ego was done there, then you would be wrong, as he continues and says that, however, such innovation in modern society can never be achieved by a genius alone. Therefore, there is a need for another talent that can find the seeds of genius, understand their value, and convey them to the world. The one who raises the feasibility and reproducibility of that and makes it the world's standard is called a prodigy. After that, Ego finally lets Henri speak, as she says that she finally understands and that the mutant talent that a genius has becomes something that everyone in the world has. That's just like the story of gene evolution that Ego talked about earlier. After that, it's Ego's time again, as he says that Henri is spot on. He says that he thinks that's how humanity has continued to evolve its civilization, and it's the same with football. A genius with exceptional physical abilities and who performs super plays becomes a singularity. By analyzing that and creating tactics, and by using data to devise countermeasures, a prodigy redesigns the play with a new logic. That's how football has evolved. Henri then just adds in by saying that it's the equation of evolution. Ego says that she has finally figured it out. After that, he turns to Isagi and says his name, saying that the world doesn't revolve around geniuses alone. Prodigies and geniuses are 2 wheels of a vehicle, and prodigies have their own path to becoming the world's best. After that, we leave the control room and head out to the pitch again, where we go to Isagi. Isagi says that there's no logic that can beat a genius, saying that he can't suddenly pull off insane plays that go beyond reason like those geniuses do, because after all, he can't even imagine it. He then says that, come to think of it, he's probably just been fighting like a prodigy all along. Every skill, every weapon, and also every moment. Isagi has just been analyzing other people's talents, copying and predicting them, and making slight adjustments to barely win. He's just a hyena who's climbed to the top. He can't create even a shred of originality on his own. He calls himself a genuine second-rate player and a shitty prodigy, saying that right now, the battlefield is being dominated by geniuses. The world is waiting for their super goals. Second-place players like Isagi won't get the pass. He has to take it himself. But that would be too much, and he knows that he can't do that, saying that there's an insurmountable wall of talk between him and the geniuses. After that, he hears something to his side. It's Kaiser who screams that it's so unfair. He continues as he questions how incredibly unfair the gods are, as he calls them a shitty god. However, Kaiser's outburst catches Isagi's attention, and he wonders why Kaiser is acting just like Isagi does. He asks him not to mess with Isagi, as he says that Kaiser surely is on the side of the geniuses, right? Saying that, unlike Isagi, Kaiser can even compete with other geniuses. But then it hits Isagi that it just might be that Kaiser is the same as Isagi, and that Kaiser is on the side of the prodigies, just like Isagi. The text at the bottom says, "A new discovery that overturns the foundations. Can understanding Kaiser as a prodigy lead to a breakthrough?" On top of that, the next chapter is called "Need You" in big letters. Now we need to talk about this. Firstly, I love Ego so much, but he talked for like 13 chapters, so I didn't really follow what he was talking about to the full extent. However, I got the majority of what he meant with the difference between a genius and a prodigy, and that both of them have different paths to becoming the world's best. Which means that even though Isagi himself considers himself a prodigy, there's still a big chance for him to continue his path, even though he isn't a genius. Now I feel like we need to talk about the big thing in this chapter, which is the realization that Kaiser, just like Isagi, is a prodigy, which means that he is in the same boat as Isagi. Kaiser isn't in the boat with the geniuses just yet, as he is still a prodigy, and with the next chapter being called Need You, I'm pretty sure that we will soon see a Kaiser and Isagi link up. Now my take on that is actually a lot different from most, I would say, as I wasn't able to get this video out yesterday when it came out. Instead, I read a lot of other people's thoughts on the leaks, and most, if not all, hate the idea of Kaiser and Isagi teaming up, which I can kind of see. Some people want Kaiser to win so that Isagi can later beat him in the story, and others want Isagi to win so that he can move on from Kaiser and also evolve in the process. But a Kaiser and Isagi link-up would be so cool, right? Both of them are in the same boat right now, both are considered prodigies, and they can't do anything alone against the geniuses, which means that they have to work together, and why not end their beef then, and work together to completely destroy both Loki, Rin, and Noah. It would be kind of corny, yes, and not the usually devoured part of Blue Lock, but sometimes a bit of teamwork can go a long way, and only because they help each other here doesn't mean that they are suddenly not rivals or equal to each other. As if they team up here, they can still be rivals, as technically they will still score the same amount of goals. Or that depends on if they team up and who actually scores the goal, or if they do one of those shots where they shot the ball together as they did before. Anyway, that's just what I think about a possible Kaiser and Isagi team up, but this is actually a super interesting topic, so please let me know down below how you would personally feel about it. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. And while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.